Hello, and here we are looking at creating bell ringers using question banks in Canvas, and we're moving on to part 2, creating a question bank and adding questions. So here I am in the dashboard of my Canvas account, and you'll notice I have a specific class called question banks, and that's where we're going to add today's question bank. The reason I've done that is because Canvas doesn't have a way that I know of, at least, to put question banks in Commons. So what I've done is I've created this class, I've shared it with all the teachers in my building so that instead of them having to create all their own question banks, they can just either export them out of this class into their class, or if they're a teacher in this class, it should show up no matter which section they're in, and then they can quickly use those question banks to share with one another and to create quizzes. So I'm going to go ahead and get into that class. And what I've done in this class is I've created a button that will take me directly to the question banks. Just for convenience sake, it's not one that's on the Canvas option list, so I had to create it. But if you don't have that button, you can go to Quizzes. Once you're in Quizzes, you would go to Manage Question Banks. And from here, you'll see a list of all the question banks that have already been created. And to add a question bank, I just need to go up here, click on this plus button, Add Question Bank. And I want to give it a name. Let's say for today, do something simple like 2-digit multiplication. Okay, and I'm going to hit my enter key. That creates it, and now that question bank has been created and it is inside of my course. Now that the question bank has been created inside of my course, I simply click on it. This gives me the option over here of adding a question. Okay, I'm going to add some 2-digit multiplication questions in here. I'm not worried about naming the questions or numbering them because it's going to pull them randomly anyway. So I'm just going to leave that alone and click inside the box here. Now I've got a few options when I do this. Since I'm just doing 2-digit multiplication, I might choose to do something like 24 times 36 equals. And then I would want to say, well, I could do multiple choice, but if I do a numerical answer, then it's going to be easier. This still be graded by Canvas, and I can eliminate those lucky guessers. So I'm going to get rid of 3 of the options here by clicking on the trash can, leave myself with 1 option as a correct answer. That correct answer happens to be 864. I'm not going to put any margin of error in there because there's only 1 exact answer in this case. And then I'm going to click Update Question. If I want to see the question details, okay, now I can see the answer that I've chosen. If I want to check that at a later time, make sure I've gotten everything right. One last thing, I'm going to go back here and edit the question because I just want to show you a few other options that you have in case you're doing maybe more difficult types of questions. Instead of doing that and typing it in, well, one thing I can do if I want to is I can just make the font size larger. Okay, and that'll show up a little larger on the student page. But another thing is, let's say I have something in this problem like square roots or other mathematical terms, or I just want all my things to be consistent. I can erase that and go into the Insert Math Equation button, the little pi symbol up here. When I click on that, this is what shows up. Okay, and I've got all kinds of options up here. I'm in the basic right now, so I could do my 24 space times space 36 equals, and then I can just insert that. And you'll see now what it does is it pastes it as an image. So to make it larger, I just pull on the image and make it a little larger if I want to. I don't want to make it too large because it starts losing some clarity as I make it larger. Another option, so I'm going to highlight it, delete. I didn't like that one. Let's say I want to do something, again, that's a little more challenging. Say I want to enter a square root. So I click on the square root up here, and I want to do the square root of 25. And let's divide that by 5. And now I hit the equal sign. Now notice what happened here is everything there was inside of the square root key, and I didn't want that. So I'm going to back it up. Okay, back to the 25. I have to click out of that, then hit my division symbol. Now hit 5 and equal to, and I could insert that. I can add cube roots or to whatever power I need that to be. And you can see there's a variety of different functions here. I can add Greek symbols, operators, relationships. I can put in arrows if I need to use arrows to help understand delimiters. And there's your miscellaneous. Again, you see the looks like the square root key. I'm not sure, I haven't used some of these yet. So, but it's a great tool for adding in some things that you normally can't do with just a keyboard. So when you enter it, that's what shows up for the students. And that is a great way to enter in some more challenging types of symbols and questions. When I update the question, notice my answer is still here, so obviously I would want to change that answer. That's why I love showing the question details, so I don't forget things like that. But that's how you would add a question into a question bank.